Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Ukraine has pulled back its troops from several villages in the border region of Kharkiv following continued pressure from Russian forces. Soldiers had come under heavy fire and moved to more advantageous positions in 2 areas of the northeastern region, a military spokesperson said. President Volodymyr Zelensky has cancelled all upcoming foreign trips as troops struggle to contain the new cross-border incursion, with several towns and villages coming under heavy fire. His press secretary said the president had instructed that all international events scheduled for the coming days be postponed and new dates coordinated. An unprecedented manhunt is taking place in northern France for a prisoner who escaped during a deadly ambush. Mohamed Amra, known as the Fly, was being taken back to jail from a court in Normandy when a car rammed his prison van at a toll booth. Armed men then opened fire on the vehicle, killing 2 officers and seriously injuring 3 others. The shooting marks the country's first fatal attack on prison staff for more than 30 years. At least 11 people have been killed amid clashes between rival cartels in the southern Mexican state of Chiapas. Reports by local media say that 2 nuns and a teenager are among those killed. The area is fought over by the Sinaloa cartel and the Jalisco New Generation cartel, but residents said the victims were locals who were massacred by cartel members. A Swiss court has sentenced a former Gambian minister to 20 years in prison for crimes against humanity. Ousmane Sonko fled to Switzerland in 2016, shortly before Gambian President Yahya Jammeh was forced out of power after refusing to admit he had lost elections. His government was accused of numerous rights abuses. Sonko's lawyers have said he was not responsible for what happened. Some court appearances in the UK will be delayed as part of an emergency measure because of prison overcrowding. The aim is to better manage the flow of cases through magistrates' courts, the custody service and prisons in England. Magistrates' courts in areas with a lack of prison places will be affected for around a week as officials decide which defendants would be prioritised. Rishi Sunak told the UK House of Commons that no one will be released early who is deemed a threat.
Will he at least guarantee that none of the criminals he is instructing prisoners to release early are considered high risk?
Mr. Speaker, there are strict eligibility criteria in place with exclusions based on public safety, and no one will be put on the scheme if they were deemed a threat to public safety.
The first official painted portrait of King Charles III since his coronation has been unveiled at Buckingham Palace. The vast oil on canvas shows a larger-than-life King Charles in the uniform of the Welsh Guards. The vivid red work, measuring about 8 foot 6 inches by 6 foot 6 inches, is by Jonathan Yeo, who has also painted Tony Blair, Sir David Attenborough and Malala Yousafzai.
And try and show a few elements of their personality, sometimes contradictory ones. I mean, there's always people who disagree with you on how to paint these things. People might not agree with how I've done it, but I think it's a bit different from the other royal portraits I've seen. The colour was part of that, and just playing with this idea of mysticism and the way we we still buy into the idea of the royal family being a bit different from us in some way.
And a miniature poodle named Sage has become America's top dog after winning the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show's Best in Show category.
16. Sage is the 3-year-old female from Houston, Texas.
More than 2,500 eager canines from across all 50 US states and other countries competed for the prestigious title.
Back in 2020 in the non-sporting group.
Sage's handler said he had no words to describe his reaction to her win. The contest has been a long-held tradition in the US, with the first one dating back 148 years.
The Best in Show winner at the 148th Annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the miniature poodle.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.